Hello and welcome to Sweetshotgames Dota 2 Patch Notes Review. I'm going to be going over some of the different notes here in the gameplay update version 6.80 for Dota 2, which will be coming out soon. I'm just going to be covering some of the things I found more interesting, and I'll be skipping some of the other stuff. So if I don't cover something, I apologize. But I just wanted to stick with things that were more interesting, things that stood out more to me, and I didn't want to make a video that was going to be super long either, so hopefully this will cut back a little bit on the time and give you a better view of some of the things I think are more important. So let's start off with the all pick being changed a little bit. After the hero selection timer runs out, if you haven't picked a hero, you're going to start losing gold, which of course will put you at a huge disadvantage, and hopefully it'll prevent people from going AFK or waiting to the last possible second to counter pick other people. So you can still wait to the last second of that hero selection timer and then pick your hero and not be counterpicked, hopefully. So that'll be kind of cool. I think that's a nice change. Next up is the Roshan was changed. I think he'll be a little bit stronger now, so he's his upgrade rate is increased by 20%, so I don't think it'll be a major change to him, but hopefully this will encourage your team to really gather around Roshan to take him out rather than letting other people just solo him or try to kind of stealthily jump in there and take Roshan by themselves. So hopefully this will encourage more grouping up and team fights and other stuff and make the game a little more exciting, hopefully. Alchemist got an interesting little change here. I don't think it's too big of a nerf or anything, but his night vision reduced, and his unstable concoction duration was reduced as well. So I think this just means you're going to have to be more careful with Alchemist. I think he can be a really strong hero still, and you're just going to have to be more careful, especially around nighttime, and then also when you're charging up that unstable concoction. Once you get it up to that max stun, you're going to have to throw it almost immediately, otherwise it'll end up blowing up on yourself. So alright, so next I want to talk about Axe. I think he got a nice little early game buff. HP regen increased from 2 to 3. Not a big deal, but it'll be nice, I think, in the early game. Berserker's call duration increased at rank 1 from 1.5 to 2.0. And then it gets about a half second increase. So early on, I think this will be nice, give you a little better chance of getting a gank on someone, even though the cooldown reduction is changed, or rescaled I should say, from 10 to 16, 14, 12, and 10. That's not going to be a big deal, I don't think. It'll be useful for ganking early on, I think. Give you just a little bit better chance of killing whoever it is you're going after. Sometimes that's all it takes, is another half second. So I think that's pretty cool on X. Then Beastmaster, I think, got a pretty cool change. You could say it's a buff or a nerf, but I really think it's a buff to him, especially if you're really good with the hero. He's kind of a high skill hero, so I think we might see him a little bit more in the pro scene with this change. This change allows you to have 2 summoned units or basically double your boar and hawk at the same time. You can have 2 of each at the same time. So I think that's how it works. But that'll be cool either way, because you can have 2 boars out there. I don't know if the slows stack at all. If they do, that'll be really strong in my opinion. Otherwise, you can, if you're good, split them up on different heroes, and it'll still be really good, really strong. And then having 2 hawks is really good too. You'll be able to cover a lot more ground that way and have a lot of vision up on the map. So that'll be pretty cool. Let's see. Brewmaster. Brewmaster got a nice buff, I think. They just reduced his cooldown on his ultimate. So I think that was the biggest problem with Brewmaster, is that it would just he's just not as effective in a team fight if you don't have your ultimate ready to use, because his ultimate is really what makes him go in a team fight. He's still got really good laning presence without the ultimate, but once you start grouping up and whatnot, you gotta make sure that ultimate is up. Otherwise, he's not nearly as effective. So I think that's a good change to him. I don't know if that'll make him too strong. I don't think so. I think that'll be okay. So then Broodmother got a pretty massive nerf. I don't know if this will make her unplayable again, but I mean, she's still going to be good at split pushing. I think you're just going to have to be really careful now with this nerf to her. She can't leave the map anymore, and free pathing is now removed when enemies have vision over you, so you're just going to have to be a lot more careful with her. She could probably still, she should be able to split push still, as long as you're careful with her and take advantage of those opportunities when your opponents leave lane and everything. Alright, so Centaur Warrunner got his cooldown reduced on his Stampede, his ultimate, from 120, 90, 60 to 90, 75, and 60. So I think this is a nice little buff to him, and hopefully we'll see him played a little bit more often. I think his ultimate is extremely strong, but it's one of those things you got to make sure it's up and ready for the next team fight. Otherwise, Centaur is just not going to be as powerful then. So hopefully this will bring him back into play, and we'll see him a little bit more often. Next, I think Drow Ranger got a really nice change. Her silence was reworked. It releases a wave that silences and does a minor non-interrupting knockback. So this will be pretty cool. I think it'll help her escape in certain situations, and I think it'll help her gank also. If you get a Shadow Blade on her, you could sneak up behind somebody, and you could use that first auto attack, and then you can use your silence then to knock them back a little bit further and give you a little extra time to auto attack them and secure kill possibly. So I think that'll be pretty cool on Drow Ranger. It'll be cool to try that out and see how that goes. Earth Spirit, I'm not really going to cover Earth Spirit. He got a pretty radical change here, but I've never touched Earth Spirit really. I tried him a couple of times, but I knew immediately he was going to be pretty broken, so I didn't want to play him too much. I wanted to wait till he got balanced out a little bit more maybe. But so yeah, if you play Earth Spirit, write in the comments below and let me know what you think of this change to him, and because I'm not too sure. So we'll see how that works out in the long run, I guess. Next I wanted to talk about Faceless Void. He got a pretty good buff, I think. His cooldown on his ultimate was reduced, which I think is a little unnecessary, because it's already pretty low considering how good of an ultimate it is. Uh, but this should make him better. So we'll see. It's probably not going to break him or anything like that, but it'll be. I think this change is definitely good for the early game for him. His mana cost is reduced, which will help him out immensely in the early game. And then the 1,000 movement speed will be really nice early game as well, because there will be times where you catch an opponent on the other side of the chronosphere and you can't get to him in time before the chronosphere wears off, or you get like 1 or 2 attacks and it wears off, and so this will help you in your ganks and whatnot. I think early game, help you to secure a kill possibly. So I think that's pretty cool on Faceless Void. So the next big one is Invoker, and I think this change to him will just encourage people to mix it up a bit more when they play him, and maybe pick Quaz Exhort one game and then Quaz Wex another game, depending on the situation, and I think that's how Invoker should be played. I think that he should be balanced enough to do that, because pretty much you just see Quaz Exhort all the time right now. So hopefully that'll encourage more people to go Quaz Wex in certain situations. They changed his Forged Spirits, the armor being reduced, and then the attack range is reduced as well. But then they buffed the EMP a little bit. The delay is a standard 2.6 across the board now. Alacrity got a little bit of a mana cost reduction, and Ghost Walk was buffed a little bit. So hopefully Invoker will become more versatile in the way that you're able to play him. That'll be cool, I think. So then next I want to talk a little bit about Leshrac. I think he got a little bit of a buff. The damage reduction is negligible, and I think the cooldown reduction to Lightning Storm is pretty cool. It's good. It'll help him be able to push more, and then also be able to spam it off maybe 1 or 2 more times in a team fight than he normally would. And then the mana cost reduction is pretty decent too, I think, on him, allowing him to use it more often, and probably just make him a better pusher overall. So that'll be cool, I think, to see Leshrac. I think we might see him a little bit more often. Lion got an interesting change. The Agnum Scepter upgrade to him now makes his Finger Death kind of an AoE within 200 range. It's very small, so I don't think this will be real game breaking at all. It's not going to be a huge buff or anything, but I think it'll be nice. You might be able to combo it up with a Darkseer or Magnus or something, but I know sometimes when you're trying to target a specific hero with Lion's ultimate, it can be tough to select them sometimes. You'll hit something else that's right next to them, and so that'll be cool, because you can target anywhere near the hero that you're actually targeting, and it should now hit them with the AoE as long as you're close enough within that 200 range. So that'll be cool. Prevent some misclicks. So that should be nice little change to Lion. I don't think you're going to be rushing an Aghanims on Lion, though. It's still kind of a, if you have the extra gold for whatever reason, then it might be a good pickup. Alright, so I think the change to Lone Druid is pretty cool. Spirit Brayer's Entangle is no longer an orb effect, so I think there's a little bit of a buff to him now, because one of the things that first came to my mind is you could put a Desolator on him now, and you get the minus armor bonus from that, which will be pretty cool. your bear auto attacks, and it'll help him take down towers a lot quicker because he subtracts 7 armor then from the tower or from whoever you're attacking, and plus it gives you a ton of damage. So I think that's a pretty cool little buff to Lone Druid. That's definitely something I'll be trying out. See how the Desolator works on him, and see how effective that really is. I think that'll be pretty cool. Let's see. Next, I want to talk about Queen of Pain. Nice little buff to her ultimate. Might encourage a little bit the Aghanim Scepter. Might encourage people to get that a little more often. It just reduces the cooldown to 40 seconds at all ranks. So you might be able to rush that and get a extra bonus out of that you wouldn't have had before. So I think that's pretty cool. It's not something you're going to want to rush in every situation, of course, but at least it's a pretty good option now, I think. But it's not going to be anything real major, in my opinion, but that's cool. Let's see, next I want to talk about Sniper. He I think this might make him OP actually, because his take aim range bonus is increased quite a bit. It's not crazy, but I think this will make. He's already a pretty decent solo mid hero in my opinion. He's decent. There's of course matchups that he's not too good with, but with this increase of range, it seems like a pretty large buff to him. So I don't know if there's anybody who can really contest a Sniper at this point, because he's going to be attacking from pretty far away. So he's going to have a huge range. So we'll see how this affects him in the long run, but I think he'll be pretty good, at least in the mid lane. So I'll definitely have to try him out, and he's definitely really fun here to play. So we'll see how that pans out in the long run. Sven, he got a decent little buff here. I think it's a pretty good buff for the early game. Base armor increased by 3. I think that'll be good for early game, but in the long run I don't think it'll change much, but help him to lane a little bit better. So I think that'll be nice for him. Tinker, I think Tinker might be super OP after this. They gave him an Aghanim Scepter upgrade for his laser. It doubles his laser cast range and heat-seeking missile count. So I'm guessing that'll be 4 heat-seeking missiles that you can launch in a team fight, which I think will be extremely powerful, extremely strong. And this will give him a lot of range too, because his heat-seeking missiles already have really high range, and if you double the range on the laser, he's not going to have to be anywhere near danger, and he'll just be able to spam his abilities like crazy and do a ton of damage, I think. So that'll be interesting to see how that works. After you get your boots of travel, of course, I think this might be something you want to rush, the Aghanim Scepter. Alright, so the last thing I want to talk about is Blink Dagger. They removed the cost on Blink Dagger. It used to be 75, so this will be a pretty big buff for any strength heroes, I think, mostly. Because, yeah, they have a low mana pool, so it's... I know for myself, when I'm playing a strength hero who uses Blink Dagger, especially something like an Earthshaker, you got to be really careful, because there are plenty of times you jump in and you realize all of a sudden you don't have enough mana for your full combo because you just forgot to add in the extra 75 mana from the Blink Dagger. So this is a good change, I think, overall. We'll see if it's too good of a change. I don't think that that it is at all. So I think this is nice. Maybe you'll see Blink Dagger even picked up on some other heroes as well. I don't know. But pretty good change overall. So I think that's about it. That's about all I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, and then of course the Iron Branch. This is extremely overpowered. They reduced the gold by 3, which is, of course, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. So anyways, let me know what your thoughts are on this patch. Feel free to give me your opinion or ask a question. And hopefully I can get back to you as soon as possible. Anyways, look in the description below if you want to find a link to the patch notes. What I'm looking at right now, I'll put a link into the description and allow you to click on through to that so you can look at some of the things I didn't cover. Anyways, that's it. So thanks for watching.